Hello, Iris J here with Madrona's Pulse Teachings. I hope this finds you doing well. I am making a video on the energies of this week in December that are carrying us into where I am, the winter solstice. If you're in the southern hemisphere, then you are working with your summer solstice energies. I firstly am just sending solstice blessings out to you. I am a big solstice person, and these energies, part of the reason I'm making this video is because this week, this sun is just working with us, literally carrying us into this threshold that is the solstice, that here in the northern hemisphere, it's carrying us through this period of the darkest time of the year, which is incredible because there is so much solar energy that is filling us. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, then you work with it in the fact that there is a lot of energy bringing you up with light as you then begin to shift into your seasons of the days getting a little darker. Whereas here, the days are going to start getting a little lighter. So I'm going to talk about this energy. I do have a video on solstice itself, the actual threshold energy. I will pop that link below. And we have our sun in Sagittarius. And as I'm making this, we've just come out of our new moon. Mercury then went retrograde. Mercury is retrograde for the next few weeks through solstice, through the holidays. It carries us straight into 2024, and then it stations direct in Sagittarius. And I feel that this Mercury retrograde is actually really supportive, especially to what is going on with the Sun Symphony right now. Supportive because especially in Capricorn, it is asking us to slow the heck down so that we can be more aware of what's going on and more aware of what's going on in our deeply inspired realms. Sagittarius energy is fire. It is the seeker of the zodiac, and it is inspiring us to expand. We just had the Sagittarius new moon that was really working to open us up to new discoveries of learning, new projects. That doesn't mean that they're happening right now, but the energy might be with us that we are starting them, and that is wonderful. Or you can just imagine them and work with your imagination however it's unfolding for you. And let's just talk about this. So I do have my notes here because I want to give you some dates as we come into this. So right now, as I'm posting this, as I'm making this, the sun is in Sagittarius and it is trying the north node up there in Aries. And this is carrying us through these first few days of the week leading up to solstice, which is on the 21st. And you know, the sun in Sag trine the north node in Aries. We have got fire energy supporting us. I just did one of my posts today, and I mentioned that a lot of my clients are very skeptical of Aries energy. They've been taught that it is selfish, which also is an incredibly gendered lesson here in terms of women not being allowed to feel into their sense of self in terms of taking care of others first. Aries energy, can Aries be selfish? Can Aries be out of whack? Can Aries come from a place of fear? Of course, every single archetype can. But Aries energy is about us tapping into our instincts, to our drive, to our impulsive drive in a reclaimed sense of impulsiveness. This is not impulsiveness that is coming from, let's just go with fear. This is impulsiveness that is coming from, I feel the inspired fire and I act. Aries gets us to act like that because it's pulling out the courageous leader. And especially if we come from trauma, if we're at the intersections of different marginalizing forces, that leader energy in us can get stuck, can get silenced, and Aries will not have that. And so this Sagittarius energy that is opening us up with a solar drive, and this is really important where you have Sag in your chart. That's going to speak to you how this kind of new project, new beginning energy wants to come through in that area of your psyche and life, is getting a trine to the Aries North Node that is destiny, calling forth a personal drive, a personal learning here, a personal lesson to carry us through. So really feeling into that energy this week. And again, I'm posting this on Friday. This aspect is happening on Friday, but the energies are just, it's a symphony flowing here. And as that's happening, Mars, who was journeying with the sun, is in Sagittarius, and it's trining Chiron in Aries. So we've got double fire energy spurring us along this week. And this is, feeling into this energy in heart space, feeling fire within, especially if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. And the days, yesterday we couldn't believe it was so dark so early, and really letting that paradox be there, this dialectical interplay. Dialectical just means a dance, and in this idea that there is this darkness holding us while there's this incredible fire energy carrying us through the solstice threshold. That's then going to put us into 2024. We can work with both cycles. And as that's happening, this other layer is Mars trine Chiron, Aries, Mars, Sag. We have this drive. Not only is there this expansive creative energy from our sun in Sagittarius, but Mars is bringing this action-oriented drive that is trining Chiron. Chiron being the wounded healer. Chiron in our natal chart is an incredibly deep energy and is definitely linked to our soul journey here. Transiting Chiron is where we're all working with this transiting energy of healing, of discovering here a healing, sacred, soul-aligned sense of Aries. This is part of what Chiron is pulling up for us in our sense, and also how there is a wounded sense of self, which is in our personal sphere going to play into definitely early stories we were taught about ourselves, roles we were taught we had to play, always at the intersection of family and society. We cannot escape that intersection, especially in the early conditionings that we all come through. And then we become adults and we start peeling back the layers and saying, heck no, Aries and Chiron and Aries, heck no, this is what I was taught. Mars and Sag trining that. I feel this call. This could be call energy that we're accessing right now. And I'm going to allow myself to be inspired. So this double fire energy working with us. Then there is just this flow of the sun moving through Sagittarius this week and coming into different aspects. So it's going to move on from that exact trine to the North Node, and it's going to square Neptune, our exact square. So we just had a Sagittarius new moon where Neptune was in play. Neptune was squaring. It was still a little bit of a wide orb, 4 degrees or so. And now the sun has moved. The moon went on right away and squared Neptune. Now the sun comes into its exact square with Neptune, remembering that Neptune is in Pisces. And that is on the 16th and 17th of December, that exact square. And so here, whatever came up from the new moon, whatever is coming up now in this drive, especially through this conversation of the simultaneous sun talking to the North Node, Mars talking to Chiron, now Neptune comes in and it infuses it with this divine revelation, truth, energy about how whatever we're being called for, we want to allow our spirituality to be present. So many of us are taught to hide our spirituality, especially when it is linked with earth-based knowledge, when it is linked to these rhythms that astrology gives us language to talk about in these archetypal energies. Many people are taught, again, intersections of family and childhood, that this uniquely felt embodied spirituality, especially when it comes into archetypal energies, witch lineages, pagan lineages, earth-based lineages, so many different intersecting spheres that we have to kind of separate ourselves. Here's me, I go to work. Here's me, and I'm on YouTube watching all my things, right? And it's wonderful that we have that space and we create that space for ourselves. The energy here is asking us to let it out a bit more, is asking us that in whatever call is carrying us forward, that this energy is opening up for us to hear, potentially in a new way. It might be that we always had thoughts about this. I kind of wanted to become a life coach. I wanted to do this. And now the energy is talking to you and it is inspiring us to move with it. My neighbors are sawing right now. I really hope that you're not hearing it. I have said this before, but one of the truths of rural life is that neighbors are always doing house improvements while I'm filming astrology videos and other types of videos. And so I'm going to talk over the saw because I want to keep going with this energy and this flow that I'm in. And so Neptune is infusing and kind of calling the spiritual realm to awaken in a new way. Now when the sun is exact, especially if you have anything around 24, 25, 26 degrees of Sagittarius and or Pisces, this is not energy that we really want to bring our analytical minds, especially with Mercury and Capricorn retrograde. This is energy that we just want to feel. We want to flow. We want to let our intuition guide. Sagittarius is deeply intuitive fire energy about the connection between personal truth and collective understanding. There is any fire sign, there is our personal spirit present. And so we just want to flow with the energy of Neptune. We actually don't really want to try and pick it apart, understand. That can lead to confusion, headaches. Neptune just wants us to flow with it. And then the sun moves directly on from that square with Neptune. It is going to conjunct the galactic center, which always happens right before we come into Capricorn season, which is the solstice. And that galactic center, as the sun moves into that, which is between 26 and 27 degrees of Sagittarius, there can be openings of deep intuition, deep insights that can flood through us. My hand is like going straight to heart space with this energy in this video. That's happening on the 19th. And then straight from the 19th, the sun moves on and it comes into its opposition with Vesta. Sweet, sweet Vesta. She is my gal in this life. Vesta is the asteroid that's up there retrograde at the 1st degrees of Cancer before it goes into Gemini. And that transitioning is happening as the sun is transitioning into Capricorn. So then the sun comes through that square with Neptune. It comes through the galactic center, and then it is directly opposite Vesta in Cancer, who is offering us nourishing, soft healing. Nourishing, soft healing into the core of our sacred creative self, into the core of our sacred flames. Here, think root chakra energy. Vesta allows us to heal our sacred sexuality. How is there a healing to our sacred sexuality that is allowing us to come through this incredible energy with Sagittarius and the sun this week and enter in through a threshold into a new season, literally a new season in our earth cycles and a new season for ourself. Okay, so especially if we are someone that is journeying through this life with experiences of sexual violence, trauma, deep trauma, there is a healing with this solstice energy as the sun is opposite Vesta, having come through this incredible, intuitive, passion-driven energy. The solstice energy as the sun is opposite Vesta, and that's on the 20th and the 21st, is really inviting us to slow down, because then that sun is also conjunct Mercury retrograde, who's come to the first degree of Capricorn. So there's this going within energy. You know, it's like we're following all of, sorry, the cats are fighting. We're following all of this intuitive, passionate energy. And then we get to solstice, and that energy is absolutely still with us. And it's asking us to go within. Okay, to go within, to carve out your solstice ritual for yourself, whatever that looks like. Again, working with the energies depending upon the hemisphere that you are in, and really allowing and just inviting healing so that we can move into this new season and work with what this week is offering us in terms of intuitive glimpsing, spiritual understanding into our journey and our soul alignment. Remember, it starts with the North Node. And of course, Mars is going to keep moving, and then it's going to trine the North Node. And what do you know? That happens on solstice, and that begins to happen on solstice, and then it moves through to the 24th of December. So then that Mars is there, and it's trining the North Node, which is helping us to find the active soul energy that can implement, especially in our own psyche, especially in our own spirit, as we're kind of going through this healing threshold that is solstice this year, to bring our desires forward. And the last piece is, as that's happening on solstice, Venus comes, and it's in its opposition with Uranus retrograde, Uranus in Taurus up there around 19 degrees, Venus in Scorpio. There is this deep Venus in Scorpio is just reclaimed witch energy, is all there is to that. Reclaim it within ourselves. The cycles, the cycles of the earth, pagan cycles happening at solstice. This is deep earth energy into the depths of the deep dives that we can do, especially with our values, allowing our values to realign with the parts of ourselves in Scorpio that we were probably taught not to value, not to claim them. And that is going to let us embolden abundance in the Taurus area of our life. All of this happening in this week as we move through the threshold of solstice. And with that, I leave you to journey with this Sagittarius energy, sending solstice blessings above the saw next door, and be well. Take care.